Welcome to Personal Development Mastery Podcast, and this is another Snippets of Wisdom episode where I select my favorite, most insightful moments from previous episodes of the podcast. Today's snippet of wisdom comes from my conversation with Pat Quinn, a professional speaker and speaking and presentation coach. The snippet I chose to play for you from that conversation is about the two most important stories that we tell ourselves and why and how we need to work on them. I hope this snippet is as insightful for you as it was for me.
There are two stories that you need to improve. There's two stories that you need to work on. One story is the story of your past. I think people think that the story of their past is out of their control, and it's not. You get to craft that story. You get to highlight the parts that you want to highlight. You get to ignore the parts that you want to ignore. You get to tell that story in a way that sets you up for success. And you control that. You control that narrative. You control that story that you tell. And you're not just telling it to other people. You're telling it to yourself. And so in the story that you tell about your past, are you the conqueror? Are you the achiever? Are you the pivot? You get to craft that story. And so you don't have to be the weakest character in the story. You can be if you want to be, but you don't have to be. You get to choose that story. And then the second story that I want you to work on is the story of your future. You get to tell that story. You get to tell that story of where you are going. You don't have to have it be a story of stuck. You don't have to have it be a story of mediocrity. You get to choose that story, the story of your future, and tell it to people. Remember, great stories are ordinary stories, they're short stories, and they're told. And so if you start telling people the story of your past, and then try changing that story a little bit, just change it a little bit, and give yourself some of the power back. Give yourself some of the choice back. So give yourself some of the control back. And then if you start telling people the story of your future, and it's not a story of, hey, we flatlined here and we're going to be in the same spot 10 years from now, but it's a story of growth. It's a story of impact. It's a story of happiness. It's a story of joy. You get to choose these stories. And I just think we are the stories that we tell. Our past is the story we tell about our past. And they say, history is written by the victors. It's your history. Be the victor. Tell the story. Mm-hmm. And it's your future. You can't achieve a future that you don't put into story, because you won't even be able to see it. So to me, it's two pieces of advice. I think they're different from each other. I think they both need work. But I tell you, if I were going to spend an afternoon just thinking about storytelling, the first two stories I would tackle are the stories of my past that I tell myself and I tell others, and the story of my future that I tell myself and I tell others. Changing those two stories, you're going to change your life.
Thank you for tuning in. You can listen to the full conversation in episode 120. The link is in the show notes. Your ongoing support as my listener means the world to me, and I value your input in shaping the show's future. That's why I'm extending a special invitation to 10 listeners like you to join me for a 30-minute Zoom call and discuss your podcast experience. Your insights will play a vital role in making the show even more tailored to your needs and serve you better. And to express my gratitude, I will gift you a copy of my first book, which is ready but not yet published, so you will be one of the very first people to read it. Don't miss out on this opportunity to connect with me, exchange insights, and read my book before it's available publicly. Click the link in the show notes to arrange our call, or email me at agi@𝗍𝗲𝗀𝗋𝗋𝗋.com. I appreciate the opportunity to have this more personal communication with you, and I will be looking forward to speaking with you. Until then, stand out, don't fit in,